Okay, let's get looking at the charts. So the first thing I do Sunday evenings is look at where the futures are headed. And right now, for Sunday, it looks like the futures are edging a little bit higher. I'm not sure if that means for the rest of the week it's going to go higher, but I know that for the next day or so, sentiment seems to be a little bit bullish. And so this is a good indicator just to see what's happening. Did we uh, continue on some of that rally from Friday? And it looks like we will be. But then again, anything can happen tomorrow morning. Any news can come out. But right now, my feeling is that this market looks like it wants to go higher. Everyone's scared to um, miss out on the gains that we're looking at. I ran through my scanner and came across a few names, and in sectors that I personally like. I think with this whole COVID, the COVID pandemic and issues happening with cities increasing their positive count, a lot of people are still going to stay home. A lot of businesses who can work remotely are going to stay remote, and so companies like Home Depot may see some increase in sales. It's just a stock that I think will do well in this type of environment. But even just looking at the chart, it looks bullish to me. And we just had hopped over the 50 and 200 moving average. I'm looking at the hourly chart, and for me, this looks like it could really run up to potentially 254 or 255 level. It closed Friday at 250, so that's a $5 move. Um, if I'm trading options on this, I'd be looking to maybe buy some calls, depending on how expensive the premiums are tomorrow. If the premiums are pretty high, then I may opt to sell puts and collect credit on them. And so it really depends on what I'm going to see tomorrow morning. But I'm going to keep this on my watch list for first thing Monday morning and potentially get bullish on Home Depot. Now, the other stock that I'm kind of bullish on is in the same category. It's SWK, which is Stanley Black and Decker. And of course, if you're going to be staying home doing home improvements versus traveling, you're probably going to need some new tools. And so this is another chart that's setting up to look like it's going to run higher. At closed Friday at 139.92. And what I see here is that it potentially could go from 139.92, which just under 140, up into maybe 143 and 144. So that's a good $4 move. Again, it really depends on the premiums I'm going to get tomorrow. Potentially buy some calls. It could do like a 138 call. If the premiums are too much, then I'll do a vertical debit spread, buy the 138 and maybe sell the 142 or 144. Um, those types of plays, I'm looking at potentially making anywhere from 70, 90% to close that out, assuming it runs up to that upper range. Again, if it makes sense to sell puts to collect credit on this, I will. The level I probably play for support might be around maybe 133. I can even go up to 135. So if I can sell the 135 puts and get decent credit, I may do that. Or I could sell the puts to fund the calls. A lot of options here, uh, but naturally I'm bullish on this chart itself. Now, tech stocks have been just going straight up, and Facebook took a little bit of a breather because of things happening in the news and their lack of censoring, I guess. They're looking for fake news. So now it looks like they're now catching up to the rest of the tech market and potentially going bullish. And so the high of over the last week has been around 247.50. And Friday we closed at 245. And so I would be looking at this stock to break through 245, maybe run up to 252, 253 range. Okay, so that's the range it has to go up. Um, Down below, I'm seeing support at really around 237. So this might be a good trade to get into maybe do again another long call, or selling for credit, it does look like it's setting up for a nice iron condor. And so I've kind of identified 253 on the top side. Maybe I sell a call spread at 252, and I'm and then a 235 on the bottom, or if I can go a little bit lower and still get some credit, around 233. And so typically when I'm looking at maybe doing an iron condor like this, I want to collect um, I want to try to collect about 35 to 40% uh, credit versus the risk. Okay, so maybe between 30 and 40% total profit on my risk. All right, so those were three stocks that I think are bullish over the next week. How about some bearish plays? And sticking with tech stocks, I saw VMware, and I really do like VMware as a company. This one though looks like it's starting to show some weakness in the chart. It closed Friday at about 146, 146.09 is where it closed Friday. But it came through below the 50 and the 200. So the 50 and the 200 moving averages, it came below those earlier in the week, and now it's expect that maybe the 200 becomes a line of resistance, and that is at 147.59 right now. Um, I'd be looking at this stock VMW to move down over the next week, and I could, again, really depends on what kind of premium I'm seeing tomorrow, but maybe sell the 150 calls for credit, or look at buying the 145 puts. Okay, so this is a bearish play for me. Another bearish one is Cracker Barrel. So with the whole COVID, restaurants, not a lot of people are going out to eat. Strictly sticking to takeout and delivery, but dining rooms are either empty or starting to reduce in capacity based on different legislations across different cities. So we're seeing a lot of that. I think Cracker Barrel is going to feel a blunt of it, a lot like other restaurants. So this has been on a downward move since last week, or even the week before. It's been just on a downward trend, and I'm looking to see if this trend will continue. It's right at the top of the channel right now at 100. If it can break above 100, then maybe I shift my mindset to this potentially being bullish. So it can run from 100 maybe up to the 103 level. But if it can't hold the 100 and it stays below it, I'd be looking for this to come down to maybe 95 over the next 2 weeks. All right, so only watching Cracker Barrel. I'm not sure what type of trade I'll do on this yet. Again, when you're trading options, you have a lot of possibilities. I may sell calls for credit, or I might just buy outright puts and go long puts on this. Okay. And then the last stock I want to talk about is Tesla. Tesla has been on a tear going straight up ever since, end of March. It just has been going straight up. And even if you just look at the last 2 weeks, 2 weeks ago, it was under $1,000. It was 975. In over 2 weeks, it's gone from 975 to 1546. Friday is where it closed. And so I really want to get into this thing short, but it's not looking like it wants to turn around just yet. So I would be cautious myself in getting into this short too soon. I want to be able to see and confirm that there is going to be negative momentum, and then get into some puts here. I think this can be very profitable if I can call it at the right time. But I definitely am not going to get into this long. I think it's definitely overvalued, and I'm not going to be chasing this up, and I'm not going to be guessing when it's going down either. I'm going to wait for that exact moment where I think it's going to go down and capitalize on that move down. All right. So good luck, everyone, with your trading this week. I will have another podcast ready to go Friday evening to recap the week. And then again, next Sunday at this time to look at the week, or 1 week or 2 week looking forward. So thanks for joining in. Subscribe to this podcast if you like it, and definitely hit that thumbs up button. And we'll talk to you Friday.